Okay, we're back on the convention floor here at the 2012 Bowl Expo, and we've had several movers and shakers of the sport, but right now we've got one of the top guns of all time. And first of all, I want to introduce my sidekick, Mr. Jim Dressel. Jim?
Well, thank you, and I will introduce our guest, the Executive Director of the BPAA, Steve Johnson. And Steve has been a busy fellow because he has had put together some kind of a program here in Reno, Nevada.
No, it's been fun, and I'm still looking for this mover and shaker Top Gun guy. Where did he must have just walked by. So it's been what a great day, huh? A lot of announcements and the smiles on people's faces, and we had a great general session today, and you'd love it when you see a plan that comes together, when you have a great team, right, that puts it together, because I have the easy part. I just come up with some ideas. But I got all the people behind me that do the work and are all about the details. So my hat goes off to them for, I think, hitting one out of the park today.
Yeah, we heard all about it, but we were unfortunate to have to miss it. We were down here doing interviews while you were up there enjoying all the entertainment. So why don't you tell our listeners who a couple of those great speakers were?
Yeah, so we started off, let me think how, we started off with Recreation, who is with the BBL, the group that entertains and goes around. What a spectacular, they pull at the heart, right, with all the Americana and patriotic songs. And the theme was, as we, United We Bowl, as we salute our heroes. So we did that. We then had a couple special announcements. One that I think was very good, where we brought the 5 women out in tonight's U.S. Women's Open. We also brought up the CEO of the PBA, Mr. Jeff Reese, and we announced that the men's U.S. Open and the women's U.S. Open are going to become one in the summer of 2013. And let's make the biggest event this industry has ever seen. I think we've proven to them that we know how to do that. It's time this industry steps up and does it. And it's amazing if you dream a little bit, right, and you stop saying we've always done it that way, what we can pull off. And I think this industry is in a great position to catapult itself forward if we get the industry thinking that way.
Well, I think in the past, there have been some good ideas, but by the same token, there are a lot of people who are more than anxious to put the brakes on one aspect or another. And you just said, okay, if I'm going to dream big, and then if I get stopped short, well, we'll still have a real good program, and that's what you've done here. And from what I can see, several Bowl Expos in the past.
That's what you do. If you're going to do anything, you do it to the best of your abilities, and you do it right, and you put everything you have into it. Going through half-assed, whoops, I said that.
Well, that's one.
Okay, that's one. But you can actually, I think that's a word in the dictionary.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, H-A-L-F.
Yes.
Yeah, George Carlin didn't get too upset over that.
If you're going to do that, don't do it. And that's what I instruct to my team. But so whatever we're going to do right. But today's general session was great. We had that announcement, and as we salute our heroes, it was a very emotional segment. I don't think there was anybody that wasn't crying in the building. And we brought out 12 heroes, and we talked about what do heroes mean. And I had teachers, we had firemen, we had policemen, we had a service dog. That was named Ninja, who was a big German Shepherd that luckily didn't bite me. We had a little 9-year-old girl named Ashley Smith whose house burned down. She lost all her toys. Now her dad's a firefighter, and her dad was fighting a fire that wiped out 250 homes here a few years ago. And she went to her parents and said, all those poor kids lost their toys. We have to do something about it. She started her own little business and has delivered over 10,000 toys to kids that have lost everything in that fire. Now, talk about a hero. And a hero is somebody that can make a difference, right, in the world, in a person's life, be it one person or a million. And this little girl was a hero. And then we had Mark Rogers, who's going to throw out the ball tonight. And this little boy, what a story that is. That he lost his arm in an ATV accident, and in the hospital he said, I want to go bowling. And he was a bowler. He was a left-handed bowler. He lost his left arm. He learned how to bowl right-handed. They had the story on CNN. We had him here. And this was his first airline flight, so he was nervous about that. and he came out and was spectacular. And tonight when he throws that, here, get this one. We sent him a couple balls, because that's what you do, right? And we go, you're going to throw out the opening ball. He goes, well, which ball should it bring? Whichever one you're comfortable with. He brought 3 balls tonight because he wants to practice with them to see which one he's going to use to throw out the first ball. So what a great story there. And then we brought out then the heartfelt ones, the Army National Guard guys. And I've got a son who's a wounded warrior. And it was difficult at best for me to get through it, but I did. And then the recreation folks came out and sang "Proud to be an American." There wasn't a dry eye, including mine, in there. And then we got to introduce Captain Mark Kelly, the commander of the space shuttle, who really had a great message about his wife with Gabriel Giffords and what they've gone through, and his life in the Navy and all the things that he's done, and being an astronaut, and it was just great. And then we went from that into, and of course we had Jeff Bourget being voted into the Victor Lerner Award, and what a nice man he is, and the contributions he and his family have made, and that was emotional. So we're on an emotional roller coaster. So how do you finish it off? I got a good idea. Let's do a Special Olympics announcement and have the global ambassador for Special Olympics there. Well, he got everybody crying, and luckily we ended it with the whole Michael Jackson crew that's here singing the man in the mirror thing. They came out singing and dancing, so we left on a high. But everybody said next time, we need to have this sponsored by Kleenex, because it was heartfelt, but it was genuine. And you know what? That's the way our industry is, and I couldn't be prouder of everybody in this industry after a day like today.
It's really kind of interesting because your work has been recognized by the BPAA, not only for hiring you on in the first place, but for recently granting you a contract extension to the year 2015.
Yeah, that was nice of them. Again, I just give everything I have every day. That's what you do, and it's just called a work ethic. And does it work? I don't know. And it was nice of them to recognize that and to say, we want to keep you around. You did okay the first 3 years. Let's see what you can do the next 3. And you know what? If it didn't work out and they said, this isn't what we want, I get it. But I'm happy that they said, stick around for a while and see what we can do. And that, to me, that's a challenge. Because look around this industry, Lenny, we need to get these people to dream a bit. We need them to think outside the box. What can we do? Where can this industry go? It's important to know where we came from, but where is it going to go? We need some vision and some dreamers, and we just need to get it done.
I was fortunate enough to be on the tour out there doing the lanes back in the early 70s, and I remember interviewing Earl Anthony one time. And I asked him the secret to his success. And he says, I aim high, and if I miss, I'm still okay. A lot of these guys are aiming low, and if they hit, they don't make any money by aiming low. And that was some great advice. But what I want to say, Steve, is we've been doing this now for 3 years, and you've been a guest for 3 years. And the first time I met you 3 years ago, you had this passion about you. You still have it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's maybe a little bit lucky that you haven't. But if you're going to do it, that's the way you go. So I love what I do, and I love this industry. But I've loved everything I've done. And you just put everything you have into it. And what I love about this industry are the people. They want to do great. There's nobody in here that wishes anything bad for Boeing. They all have great intentions. And to me, that gets you up early in the morning, keeps you there late at night, and it keeps you working weekends, because they all want good things to happen for this industry. And when we get people, as I said 2 years ago, the brand is Boeing. It's not BPAA, it's not USBC. And we can get people focused on Boeing, and Boeing improves and grows, and good things happen, everybody wins. And that hasn't changed. So you're going to see a lot of initiatives on our end to keep moving things forward.
You have a new I won't call it a challenge, certainly, but you have a new president in Kathy DeSocia, and she's going to blaze her own trails in a new way, perhaps. But she's now the chief of the BPAA as far as the proprietor concerned, and a direct line to all those people. And frankly, they'll be paying a lot more attention in that respect to what you're doing as well. So it's probably a good challenge to have, but there's also responsibilities as well.
Yeah, I admire our entire board of directors. Anybody that's going to volunteer the amount of time that they put into it and take it away from their business, because it costs them money. Trust me, you talk to anybody that's on a board, with what they put out there, what they have to do, they're neglecting something, right? There's only so many hours in the day, and in most cases, they're neglecting their own business. And they're doing it again for the right reason. So this board has my full support. I serve at the pleasure of the board, and they set the direction, and I follow it. We've got good direction. We've got a good vision. We got, I think, a very good plan. And, as I said, I think it's limitless to as far as we can go. And you mentioned movers and shakers earlier. There's some good movers and shakers out here. I'm sure you're going to interview Randy Schickert at some point. Good guy. Jeff Reese with the PBA, another great guy. Stu Upson, a personal friend of mine now and partner. And we go into rooms together, not always agreeing. And the good thing is, if we get into a wrestling match, well, I can take them. So that doesn't bother me. But you know what? We always leave unified, but we don't always agree. And I have a lot of respect for Stu and his team. I can go down and miss people, I'm sure. Brunswick, and Cubica, and AMF, and Storm, and Steltronic, and on and on. There are good leaders in this industry. We just need to dream a little bit, and we need to say, what if? And then just go after it. Go after it. It's there for the taking.
Should be.
I know one of the things that Stu's facing, he's looking at something that's pretty obvious right in front of him, and that is the fact that the membership of the USBC is going to dip under 2 million this year, at the end of this season. So he's got his own battles to fight. Are there any ways that you're actually stepping in there to maybe help him, not specifically, but as an organization, and vice versa? Are you two groups cooperating that much?
Oh, I think so. The first thing is the unified youth department that we have. The first time they've ever done that. So it's no longer the USBC youth department or BPAA youth department. It's the International Bowling Campus youth department, and that's a major step. As Stu has a challenge with membership, that translates into our centers having a challenge with leagues. That's a big problem that we have, and we're very focused on getting that league business turned around, coming up with some new programs, and leagues are different now than they were 30 years ago. It's not a year round and take 2 weekends off or whatever for leagues. That doesn't fly anymore. So we got to come up with new products. What we need to do is listen to what the marketplace says, because the marketplace has to dictate what we're going to look like. We cannot dictate to the marketplace and shove it down their throats, because if we do, we will dip well below 2 million members, and we'll dip well below 5,000 bowling centers. So there are plans that we're working on addressing that together.
So in other words, you and Stu still have a great relationship, because I remember that was one of your goals, both of you, to work together. So 3 years later, is that still the same?
Absolutely, and it's we know each other a lot better now. We know a lot more about this industry. I'll be the first. Stu and I didn't know anything about bowling 3 years ago. We knew a little bit after the first year. We know more now, but most of you folks have forgotten more than Stu and I know about the industry. But I think one of the strengths is that we don't have the industry blinders on. We are surrounded by experts. We are surrounded by people that understand and know the bowling industry. So I can ask questions like, why are we doing it that way? And can we try another way? And will this work? And so I can challenge my folks and my team, and Stu the same with his. So I feel very good about the relationship we have with the USBC.
Well, you're a very open guy. You're always visible. I see you carrying on conversations with all kind of people every time I see you. So keep up the good work. We got a minute or two left. Jim might have another question. If not, then you can have the stage. So
hey,
Jim, you got anything?
Jim doesn't have anything. So hold on.
I love it.
He knows me pretty good.
Yeah,
takes charge. I like it.
He doesn't have anything until the next article comes out, and I'll go, I didn't say that. So I do have something. I am very proud of my family. Today was as we salute our heroes. I have a son who's a wounded warrior. It was hard getting through that piece today when I had wounded warriors out there. I had tears in my eyes. Everybody did. When we got done with the general session, my phone rang. It was my youngest son. Just finished his second year of college, and I've been busting his chops like dads do, because I'm his dad, not his friend. Sometimes you have to play that role. What are you going to do, son? What are you going to accomplish in life? You seem to lack focus. You seem to lack desire. You seem to lack work ethic. All the things that your dad's told you and my dad told me. He went and tested in some special programs with the United States Navy. And we just got word today that he's been accepted into the Navy's nuclear engineering program, which is one of the toughest schools to get into, and will ship off or go to basic in March is when the opening is. So I told him, I go, son, pretty soon you're going to be able to walk around and go, yeah, I'm a nuclear engineer. My dad, he's the bowling guy. Who would have thought? So it's fun, but I'm very proud of him and my family, and for them allowing me to spend the time and the energy that I do with what I love, and that's trying to drive this industry forward.
All right, Steve. Thank you very much for being with us again for the third consecutive year.
Thank you, guys.
Keep up the good work. Best of success.
We're all in it together.
All right. Thanks.
Sure.